What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be creating a series of 3 Swiss graphic design posters based on the Smashing Pumpkins' first 3 albums. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I am going to be using a set of posters that I did a few years ago as inspiration. So let's jump in Illustrator and have some fun. Alright, so here are the 3 original posters that I did several years ago, actually. I think this was probably around 2016 or so. And I've always really loved the simplicity of them and how they capture each album. However, these are definitely not what you would call Swiss design, so we're going to take these and adapt them into that. So I'm going to create a new document and just go 24 by 36 and have 3 different artboards here. We'll grab this bottom artboard and just move it up here and just kind of space these out a little bit more. So I'm just going to copy and paste these over here. I think what I will do is arrange these like here, like maybe down at the bottom, so I can quickly grab if I need to. And the reason that I originally went with this dark red right here, even though the cover itself is purple, it was a little bit too close to the melancholy one, and I wanted to use a darkened version of this light red right here. All right, so what we're going to be doing is going to be an extreme simplification of the shapes that we have here. And this will be a very interesting case study of how to look at shapes and see exactly how everything is made up of those individual shapes. So if we take a look at this right here, we see a whole bunch of circles, and here's a circle right here, circle here, and then also a circle here, and all of these circles are making up this big circle. So we can easily simplify this with no problem. I think this one may present a little bit of a challenge, but if you look at these, it's really kind of just egg shapes. And what we can do here is just adapt them into ovals, and we'll see how that goes. And this one, of course, is pretty darn simple as well. It's just a star. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start laying out some type, and we'll figure out exactly what we want to be on these posters here. Try as I might, it's really difficult to get away from Helvetica Neue, especially when I'm putting together Swiss design posters. There's just something about it that adds authenticity to it, so it's really hard for me to get away from it. Plus, I don't have Neuhaus Grotesque, and it's very expensive. All right, so the main type for each of these posters needs to be the album's title. And we'll need to make sure that the same size is going to work across all 3 of these posters. And the most challenging one is obviously going to be Melancholy, because it has a very long title. So you can see how this can easily get out of hand. We have a size here that works perfectly fine for these first 2 posters. However, when we get to the 3rd one, it's a bit of a crap fest. So let's reduce the size of this down to probably 240. And I went ahead and threw my Swiss grids down here and adapted them to the size. Should have done that at the very beginning. Anyway, let's go into here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to align this baseline to this right here. And if you remember what I said in the Are You Afraid of the Dark video, we have a horizontal ascender here with this lowercase g. So we need to move it over to where this part of the g is and not where this part of the g is. All right, and if we follow our formula here for our Swiss posters, we're going to do 30% of the original size and then 60% of the secondary size. So we'll say the Smashing Pumpkins. I know that on the first 2 albums, it's just called Smashing Pumpkins, but for the sake of consistency, I'm just going to name it the same all across the board. And I think what we'll do is I will up this just a little bit, maybe up to just 300. That'll be just fine. And once we get over here to the Melancholy, I'll make the adjustments for the leading. All right, so let's align this right here. Here's our baseline. The lowercase t is not going to give us a horizontal ascender here, so we can just move it to there. And we'll go to Wikipedia, which is the most trusted source on the internet, and we'll just get some basic information here. And we'll make sure this is all lowercase. Take out that comma right there. What I'll do right now is just set the text exactly where I want it to be, and then we'll go in and kern everything at the very end. And for our leading, remember what we do is we enter in the font size and we multiply it by 95%. And that gives us a really good leading or line height. And we'll align this with this grid right here. Let's go all the way in, and we'll grab when it was recorded. And here's a little pro tip for you that'll set you apart from other designers. Use an in dash when you're indicating a passage of time. That's going to be Option or Alt hyphen on your keyboard. And we'll put the studio where it was recorded. And we'll say recorded at Smart, not at Smart. And we'll say Madison, Wisconsin. And we'll leave that at lowercase as well. All right, so let's bring up our grid and we'll align this to the right side of that. And this is one of those cases where you can break the grid. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the 3 of these here at the bottom, make sure that Align to Selection is selected, and go to Horizontal Distribute Space in your Pathfinder. And now we need one last thing, which is going to be our graphical element. So let's create a circle. And what I'm going to do here is just a very basic circle with the inner circle there. We're not going to do like the whole ring of the circles. And we will size this to probably... That looks good. We are aligning it to that part of the grid. And that's giving us a really good visual balance. We've got right side, left side, and then center all the way across there. So now I'm going to move one of these up here, and we will just follow this same pattern. In fact, I'll probably just move this up here, delete that. Work smart, not hard. And there you go, there's a giant creepy eye looking at all of us. Okay, so now let's draw our background color. And of course we need to change our colors here, and we'll just drop that white, and that is looking pretty cool. And now we just need to go in here and kern. Remember that the original Swiss Design posters were very tight in their kerning, so you need to make sure that you go in and just kind of match it as much as you can. I don't pretend to be a typesetting master, I just try to do what they did. The key really is just to make sure that there's plenty of breathing room in between, and there doesn't have to be this exact mathematical consistency. It really just needs to look good in between the letters, and there needs to be plenty of harmony. There's not really a right or wrong. You just gotta zoom back out and make sure that it looks good across the board. All right, now I'll tackle these. Okay, and whenever you're putting together any kind of Swiss design, the part where you should be spending the most amount of your time is going to be in your kerning. It's really going to help your design to stand out and help you stand out from other designers. So take the time to do it. All right, so we got one down and two more to go. All right, so this is our first one that has the two different lines. So let's go ahead and adjust the line height there. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing over here. And just a pro tip, if you've already established your leading and you're happy with it and you want to apply it to another block of text, just select the one that you want, hit the eyedropper on your keyboard, and select the one that you want to copy. All right, let's bring up our grid, and I want to do something a little bit different. Maybe put the type up here at the top. I think Gish can kind of go more in the middle, Siamese Dream at the top, and then Melancholy aligned to the bottom. All right, let's move this over here. There's our vertical descender, and we'll align this to the very top right here. It's a little close to the edge, but no big deal. And now in order to save time, we'll just copy these over and we'll align to the grid. Let's go ahead and just color drop this for now, just temporarily. We'll just make it that color. And I'm gonna move the Smashing Pumpkins up here to the top. And we'll do something a little bit different here where we go right here, I think. That looks good. And then we'll just put our graphic right here in this space. Or at least that's the plan for now. And as far as our graphic goes, let's just grab our ellipse tool and we'll create just some ovals right here. And I think I'll do probably 9 by 13. That looks good. And let's rotate it. And I'll go over here to Unite on my Pathfinder, and that's gonna reset our bounding box right there. I'm gonna Option or Alt drag this over here, reflect it, and I'll go into outline mode here and just kind of see where a good intersectional point is. I think I'll probably just align it right there where those anchor points are. And now we'll select this and Option or Alt drag again, and we'll just rotate it all the way. And now holding Shift on my keyboard, I'm gonna just size this up here and just make it a little bit smaller. I think we'll go 8 inches right here, and we'll set this to exactly 12.5. And we'll give this a slight overlay. Let's see if we can find, yeah, there's a good intersection right there. And let's see if we can get it a little bit more precise. That looks good. And opacity is definitely something that you see in some old Swiss designs, so we can certainly do that. So we're gonna move this up here to the top, and we will align this to that bottom grid line right there. And now we'll hold Shift and bring this down right here. And I'm actually gonna break the grid right here because I want to do this optically. I don't want it to be that small. So we're gonna go up here like this. And I think we'll match the same size of this circle right here, which is 13.375. Set our anchor point to the bottom center and size this up here. And I'll just leave that for now, and let's go ahead and just copy paste this right here. I want to see what this looks like. We'll obviously need to change the color of our text. That's interesting how we have that overlay happening there. However, I'm not too big of a fan of it, and we need to create some kind of visual balance here. So I think what I'll do is rearrange these text pieces a little bit, bring this over here. That way we can align this to our grid here at the bottom, and we can maintain that same size, and then we can go directly to this grid line right here. All right, so I'm pretty happy with the text placement here and here, but I think what we'll need to do is make a few adjustments here, align this to our grid, and let's move this down to the very bottom grid line. And then what we'll do here is move this up to the top of this grid line, then align this up here, then grab all 3 of these. I'm gonna select this one as our key object and align everything to the left, and then make sure Align to Selection is selected, and we're gonna vertically distribute that space. All right, overall looking really good. And now let's just go in and kern our heading type here. Okay, and everything else here has been kerned. We just need to correct this information. So we'll drop this in as the release date. Again, December to March, so all we have to do is update these numbers right here. And let's adjust this kerning right here. And we'll space this out a little bit. And the studio, we will put this right here. And we'll have the same type of formatting here that we had for the first one. And let's just finish up by kerning this right here. It's pretty cool that that was recorded at Marietta, Georgia. I've been there several times, and it's not too far from where I live, relatively speaking, that is. All right, 2 down, and now we've got 1 more to go. And I think what we'll do here is, since we have both of them on the right side of this one, let's put the star on the left side, and we'll align everything here to the right. And I'm gonna simplify this star, but still give it the depth that this one has. I'm just gonna fill in that circle there. All right, so now all we have to do here is just draw a few lines. Basically what we're doing is we are drawing them to the center point of the star out from the edges like that. All right, perfect. So each one of these spokes right here has 2 dimensions. So now we're gonna swap back over to our fill, go over here to Pathfinder and click on divide, and then I'll just color drop everything in here. All right, perfect. So we have some nice dimension there while still only using 2 colors. Let's bring up our guides and we'll go 2 inches in. Now let's do kind of similar to what we did over here. And this should be exactly what we are looking for. Of course, we need to go in and do some kerning. So we've got good balance going on here, although we need to figure out exactly where we're going to put this type. And we should be able to just align it to the right and then drop this color right here. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and kern this right here so I can plan everything else out. All right, overall looking really good. Let's go ahead and update this information at the top. Okay, so the recordings, we're going to need a few different lines here. So let's go ahead and change everything to lowercase here. And we'll get it formatted exactly how we want in here before we paste it into Illustrator. And this is definitely going to take several lines here. And that is absolutely absurd. So we've got some adjustments to do up here. So let's go ahead and align this to our top grid, horizontal ascender there. Same thing here, and it's aligned to the key object. And what we'll do here is align to this grid instead of going down to the next one. And now we'll select the 3 of these and just distribute the spacing. And let's begin kerning. Why they had to record these at so many different studios is beyond me. If this doesn't give you carpal tunnel, nothing will. All right, that is done. And let's go ahead and add in our final touch here. Background color, drop this in, and then we will recolor our type.
Looks like a Christmas tree.
All right, looking good. So here is our first 3 Smashing Pumpkins albums as Swiss posters inspired by these original minimalist ones that I did several years ago. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. It was really fun to adapt those posters, and I really hope I taught you something today in Illustrator. Just follow the same principles that I laid out in the video, and your Swiss posters will look great. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and click the bell for notifications to be notified of all future videos. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.